options. Tutatokea Tuesday. Mnaambia gava mtatokea Tuesday kwa nini? Mbona watu wasitokee saa hii? Mkiambia gava itatokea Tuesday, mnasema tunataka kwenda Tuesday Uhuru Park. Obvious, hao say they are not following the constitution. They are not following the rule of law. Mkiambia gava tutakuja Uhuru Park Tuesday, wanafanya nini? Wanafunga Uhuru Park. Wednesday tutaenda sijui wapi, wamewangoja huko. We are supposed to every single day, hawajui ni wapi, lazima mahali barabara imefungwa, kitu imefanyika, lakini tuache kuharibu the country. By the way, hawa wanaongea story ya anarchy, hiyo kitu si poa. But at the same time, this government lazima iende home. But hawa wanataka we lead the country to anarchy, and we are not going to hatutaangukia mtego yao. So wase manze, to come up with a new strategy. The other one is not working. Ama CS wanatolewa wanarudishwa. Now let's make the country unbearable to transact business. Niliona msee spokesman akuja kusema ati, you know, the government lost 6 billion in revenue. How can you lose money you didn't have? Ati sasa juu kulikuwa na maandamano, biashara iko inaendelea. The money already haukuwa nayo, unapangia aje pesa hukuwa nayo? Nimeacha story. Mimi nilikuwa nataka kusema tu hiyo.
Pineapple.
Morio.
Okay, before Morio ende, do
No,
you know
he's the one
also...
he's the one who was just talking. I'm telling him your strategy ku occupy streets inatoka leo asubuhi. Watch for it. Ayo.
Okay. So what I wanted to say is that we also need to understand that Ruto is playing a game with us na hiyo story ya IBC. Na najua he's already strategizing about the next elections. Na we need to buy him from getting into that your point ya kuget hata kwa hiyo ballot. Juu is already niko sure kwa karibu kwanza kureconstitute IBC hapa na ataeka watu wake wenye wanaenda kuprotect vote yake. Na niko sure anaenda hata kuprotect watu wasichukue kura. By the way, I'm very sure kuna wasonafa kuchukua, and that's why unaona hizi stories za ma IDs na delay. Tangu lini Kenya tushai delay wa kupata IDs? Hata passport by the way inakuanga rare sana. ID, national ID yenye mtu pata after sijui ni how many weeks. This time round hatuna IDs. Watu kienda ukipoteza ID it's a wrap for you. Hadi ID kitu yenye whatever your country is supposed to be giving you, you're paying for it. Thao moja. And you're just there seated laughing with Ruto and trying to tell Ruto kuambiana hapa ati tumpatie time. Hakuna time tunapatia Uchali tunamtoa kwa hiyo kiti, na kisha toka kwa hiyo kiti tukisha get back to normalcy tunaanza kumfuata, anarudisha all the public land, all the public whatever wealth yenye ashai iba. Lazima arudishe, and we are not relenting by the way. Na atufai kwenda kwa negotiation table na Uchali. He doesn't deserve it. Nobody in Ruto's government deserves to be on the negotiating table. He doesn't deserve to be talked to, because I mean, how do you account for the lives that were taken? How do you account for the Akina Rex? But he's so busy to say rest in peace Alan Kiuna, but he never talked about the kids who died on the streets while trying to fight for their rights. Come on guys. Alafu mnatuambia ati to check, and hatuwezi cheka na Ruto by the way. Hatuna hiyo time. Anybody trying to tell us to give Ruto room to breathe is an enemy to us. Let's just agree on that fact. Anybody trying to tell the masses to give Ruto time to smile with us is an enemy of the people. Na anafakwa kwa hiyo bandwagon by the way. Hatuna time. Pineapple, give the mic to the next speaker.
Good morning. So let me just remind you, if you've had a chance to speak, we have a very long request line. So I'd kindly request you to drop. I wouldn't want to drop anyone. If you have anything else you need to say, please raise your hand so that I can address you. Dear politician, but you've been waiting for a while, so we can have you and then Solomon. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you. Good morning again, where I am. and thank you so much giving me the opportunity to actually speak on your space. And you know, the problem we have in Africa in general is the corruption, and politicians becoming more and more selfish and every day, you know, and especially the problem we have in East Africa, in Kenya, in Somalia, and in the region is the region is becoming a hotspot for illicit and crime and money laundering, and you know what you call deep state, extreme business which is unaccounted, you know, unaccounted. Look, all the money in Kenya now, and the people I'm talking about, and who actually crossing the border in Somalia, into Kenya, into Tanzania, into Uganda. These people are not accountable to anyone. Look, I can buy Kenyan passport for $200 to tomorrow if I want to do that, and that's how easy it to actually get a Kenyan passport, buy property in Kenya, and you know, take money out of Kenya without the Kenyan authority noticing ever. You know, the money we're talking about is a money that's a blood money, a dirty money coming from, for example, that guy, his name is Ahmed Madoba. He controls parts of Somalia, Jubaland. He destroyed the forestry in that region. He cut all the trees and he make charcoal and he sent to the Middle East, Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. So this money is I would say, is illegal money. So that money is coming to Kenya, Kenyan economy. So Kenyan economy, the real Kenyan economy will never see this money. The ordinary people of Kenya will never see this money. This money, they created a channel account which is actually they control. And what they do, they bribe the politicians in Kenya. They give, let's say, a couple of $1 million. They go to William Ruto to midnight, to 2 o'clock in the morning, and they offer a suitcase of $3, 4, 5 million. They come to the commissioner, the police commissioner, with suitcases of money. So this is how they are destroying the Kenyan economy, because we need to have transparency in African economy. We need to have an accountability. These businesses have to be accountable. So what the Islamists, especially the Islamist extremist groups like Al-Shabaab, what they are doing, they are fighting to be accountable to any government. They do human trafficking. They bring in people all over in East Africa. They bring in every single day new people into your country without no checks, without no control. So the problem in Kenya, I'm not saying everything is down to this. I'm not saying all the problem with Kenya is with these Islamist extremist groups who are running major businesses in Somalia, who are actually crossing your border. But I'm sure there is other problem in Kenya. But this is one of the problems that you are facing. And my worry is that they are bribing your soldiers. They are bribing your forces, the customs, and you know, customs and excise people who supposed to collect taxes, and they are bribing all of this. And the money, I am sure 100% that money or their businesses will never, the ordinary people of Kenya will never see this money, because the way they do business, actually they created their own companies. These companies launder the money. They control how they take the money out of the country, how they bring the money out of the country. Even, you know, during the COVID coronavirus in United States, there was a program which was helping the children who were in, you know, malnutrition in United States. The United States government provided for children in need during the COVID a lot of money to feed the children. What they did, they steal this money and they bring to Kenya. In Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, the customs of Kenya, they captured this woman. She had something like 800,000 US dollar taken from the United States. bring into the Kenyan economy. So this kind of money is not helping your economy; it's destroying your people. Because what they do, they go to the commissioner, the parliamentarians, and the president himself, and they offer a lot of money to them, a lot of money, money that you never dream of, suitcases of millions of dollars, and that's how they destroy Somalia. That's how they want to destroy Kenya. And I think the Kenyan people, I'm sorry to say this, have to wake up and have to wake up and have to look. The politicians who are actually infected by this disease are all over the place. Look, you have got a parliamentarian who have been in Kenya parliament for 3 decades, more than 3 decades, without a control, without doing any kind of thing. Look, this Farah Malin guy, what does he do? He doesn't even build a roads for his community. And he's actually crossing the border. When he's 1 minute in Ethiopia, the other minute he's in Somalia. Look what he says on YouTube. He's talking about the politics of Somalia. The other thing is that I'm a bit worried, and I want to finish by saying this. They make a SLI, which is in Nairobi, a quarter. They make the global headquarter. Once a year, they come together. The people I'm talking about is called Al-I'tisam, Islamist, which is part of Al-Shabaab. And they are the business in arm of Al-Shabaab. They come once a year to Nairobi, and they do conferences, meetings, and they come all over the world, including Al-Shabaab, the military wing of Al-I'tisam. And they invite politicians from Kenyan government, from ministries, even the president, to their conferences. This kind of conferences is running in Kenya. And Kenya is they're not only destroying Kenya, they want to destroy Tanzania and all the way to Uganda. They want to spread this kind of ethics, which is unethic business kind of dealing throughout East Africa. And their dream is to create Islamist state of East Africa. And this is very dangerous. And I think the sooner you guys wake up, the better. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the time. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys coming on the space and giving your amazing sentiments. Thank you so much, Geopolitics. TV, Africa TV. Guys, it's 5 minutes past top of the hour, 8 a.m. East African time. And the hashtag is Ruto must go. We are 1,228 people plus on this space. And I want you to just take a moment and go post on your timeline, share the space, and just use the hashtag Ruto must go. Kindly. Just go on your TL, share the space. If you want to share the space, go down there on the share button and just type on your TL, Ruto must go. Okay? And please keep on requesting the mics. I'm seeing the request. From now on, we are not going to hog the mic for like 10 minutes. I'm giving each and every one of you, and you will be timed. I'll give you 4 minutes each. 4 minutes each. 4 minutes yako safi. Give your sentiments, your submission. Then we move on past that. If anybody wants to rebuttal, you rebuttal as quick as you can, and we move on. So I'm gonna go in this order as we speak. I'm gonna start with Josephine. Josephine, you have your hand up. Then I'll go to Wango. After Wango, I'll go to Talibanel. Mkona majina kwa hii Twitter. Taliban, hey, that one. I'll go to you, then Liz, then Billy Mijungu, then W Munga, Omu, then Kibogong, then Escowino later. So let's go in that order. Kindly, 4 minutes yako safi, ukimaliza na kudrop na leta watu wengine. Niko na 33 requests and they must all give their submissions. Ukioverrun na commute na kudrop, we have to follow instructions, please. We all have something to say, so let's keep the ball rolling. Josephine, your 4 minutes starts now.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
100%.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
we can hear you.
Good morning, fellow Kenyans. Thank you, Mr. KOT, and your team for hosting us this morning. Yeah, I am just as furious as any other Kenyan, but I want first to rectify a word said by one of the gentlemen who mentioned me yesterday, who had me keenly. I think I was very categorical because by the end of the day, what I said is that we need to protect the businesses so that the business people are the people who are donating food to bring to the people when we are seated outside there. And today, I've always said that we have to remain focused. I want to bring to your attention another way because I'm very furious. I feel President is just taking us for granted. Even with all the grievances that we have, he's just doing the opposite. Actually, I want to believe right now the only sector which should work in this country from today should be only hospitals peke yake. The rest of the Kenyans should be out there fighting for their rights, fighting that Ruto must go, and with all his rotten government, he should leave our country for us, and we remain for ourselves and fight for ourselves. We cannot sit here and see him just recycle the same people he terminated the other day. He failed to gazette purposely to bring them back again to manipulate us to see how are we thinking. We can see now the Raila team is also coming up inside there. Guys, can we first occupy those offices at an SSF building around Milimani? Can we protect those offices? Those guys should never enter those offices. They are our offices, it's our country, and we are saying we don't need them. We are tired of them. We don't need them. Let them go with the Ruto. Kindly, can we come up? Can we win the confidence of every Kenyan, and every Kenyan feel the same pain we are feeling? And we stand firm and they say that there is no any other structure. Kama kuna mabasi zitaruhusiwa kufanya kazi, let's allow the buses to work to ferry people to Nairobi so that we occupy everywhere. Nowhere is going, nothing is going to happen so that Ruto can go. We cannot just take this again. I'm so furious, I'm so mad. But the truth is, we are not going to sit here to also to discuss tribes right now. It's too late. What we need to see is putting our country straight and ensuring that nobody ventures into the people's businesses. We are there with a purpose and with a mission, and we go with our mission. Because when we get distracted, starting going to the people who are rooting, then we will be doing it the wrong way and we will not be having merit on what we are doing. Eventually, we will be killed, so many of us, for no good reason. We don't want anyone to be killed, but we should be all there. And actually, we should occupy all the government premises and say there is no civil servant who is going to work unless he's a medic. And that medic should be out there actually giving us services when we need them for those who need them. Thank you so much, and may God bless us. May God bless Kenya. That's my submission for now because I'm feeling furious. Let me be honest. I'm feeling bad. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josephine. Let's go to the next patient, please. Your 3 minutes begin now.
Hello?
Who was next? You guys, I gave you the whatever, the flow of events. Who was next?
Are you
After,
listening to me?
okay, talk
Hello?
to us, Wangao.
Okay, this is Wangao from Nyanza.
3 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, to my surprise, I think we are in the fifth week since we started this, and Ruto has never gone abroad anymore. So, like, this guy is, first of all, is a robber. He has been robbing Kenyans from whatever little Kenyans have in the pocket. I want to address mostly my fellow Luos, because I'm one of the Luos. We have toxic people, toxic politicians within us, and like everyone listens to Raila. So it's like Raila's infiltrated with something that is very toxic, And I think last time on Thursday we had some goons in Homa Bay who could protest against the protesters, who could beat the protesters who were very peaceful because they have been paid by such a politician. So to my fellow Luos na wale wamama ambao wako nyumbani, tafadhali, 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 it is the right time we should wake up. Let us not be keeping on listening to Raila, sijui mara yendi amesema, sijui nini. No, it is the time we should wake up to avoid tribalism. There was a time some of these politicians said like, oh, the fight is for them. Why should we get involved? We have been fighting ever since 1960, whatever. Now let them fight against themselves. That is tribalism of the highest order, and we should not tolerate that. We as Gen Zs and millennials and the alphas, we want to make Kenya a better place for each and everyone. Ruto has to go because right now is the problem. You cannot recycle the cabinets who are there before. You cannot bring the old faces, and you cannot like last time vile alisema Mars G want to make us around the table with dialogue or on whatever. No, dialogue is part of what? Part of like encouraging them to be in power. If Ruto can go before 2027, kindly, if Ruto can go before 2027, I think we'll be having a better country. So to my submission, let us march together, let us occupy everywhere. Kesho wale ambao wanaenda church leo, don't leave politicians the podium to address. Wale ambao wataenda kesho the same. Monday vivo hivyo. We should be restless, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Wangao. Let's go to our next speaker. Your 3 minutes begin now. Okay, seems I have to call the names, and if I call the names, I'm gonna rearrange the order. Billy, talk to us. 3 minutes begin now. Billy, are you there? Billy Mijungu. Okay. Let's go to W Mungadi at yahoo.com. Your 3 minutes begin now.
Yes, thank you, Ayo. I'm James Mugeni from Busia, from Uganda. I first want to thank you people for what you have done, because I'm basically here to study, to follow, and because we are trying to replicate, we are trying to follow what you have done. You know, for us, we have been in captivity for 40 years. And when you started, when the Gen Z of Kenya started, they motivated us, and you have seen everybody's addressing us, ministers, what have you. Don't emulate the Gen Z of Kenya. And we are like, no. They have started something that we are seeing producing results for them. We are following it. So if you see what is happening in Uganda, we are replicating, we are mobilizing. Now, I got interested when somebody mentioned closing borders, closing the Nyangata. You said Langata, Mombasa Road. If you did that for us, because if it is said, if when Kenya catches a cold, when Kenya sneezes, Uganda catches a cold. Close off Kenya, then you'll have liberated us, because Ugandans will pour on the street en masse. There's no way, if you starved us, hunger will not bring us out. All our goods pass through you, through Kenya. So we are hoping that Busia border will be closed, Malaba border will be closed, and even the new oil, whatever, that port they're opening on Lake Victoria through Kisumu will be closed, such that Uganda can be liberated. We have suffered under Museveni, and there are a few things that I'm seeing in Kenya that are being exactly the same like it used to be in Uganda. If you heard of killing of women in Wakiso, there was a group of people that started killing women. and they killed so many women. I have seen this thing happening now in Kenya. It's like it's a system they use. Now there's that Somali friend of ours who was talking. Trust me, for us who have lived in this, there will be bombs thrown such that security dominates again. That's what they do. Within the system, goons are planted. And the goons that are destroying business. But if somebody has said Kenya has closed, why would somebody say they want to do business? And I'm so happy about it. Is it Josephine who said only medics? I'm a medic. Only medics should work because you are saving lives. For now, close for innovation. And if you're closing, then you're closing East Africa. You're helping all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You utilized your 3 minutes so well. Let's go on to the next. Kenyan lady.
Well, hello, everybody. I know you can hear me, so I am gonna go straight to my point. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so let me start here. Can we sanitize our environment? I do understand that nataka watu ati sijui waje hapa and they speak their mind and we listen to them. Let me tell you, I know there's democracy and there's abuse of democracy. So there are people who are coming in to abuse that democracy. So if you keep letting people air their views, even if they're against the movement, that is not going to be, the right. I don't know. I don't know where we will be headed with that. So I would just advise, or I hold the alignment that these spaces should just be for those that are pro-movement. If you are for the government, that does not make us opposition. We are in the opposition. That makes us Raila. You know what I'm saying? This is a platform where we should be able to be speaking our issues of pro-movement. I mean, there are so many barazas out there that they can form. They can go to Itumbe, they can have their own spaces. So, end of rant as far as that. So, a very, very important point that I want to make. Sorry? Am I?
Sorry, Dennis, it's either you mute your mic or you get dropped. Please, space discipline, eh? Sorry. Kenyan lady, continue.
All right. So there's one question that has been asked over and over and over and over, and I want you guys to listen to me. The older millennials, young Gen Xers that are here, they can stand with me on this point. So watu wanashinda wakiuliza what next? Okay, Raila actually asked, okay, so remove Ruto, what next? That is number one, to justify that there's nobody else that can rule other than the political elite. That's the number one point that you need to know they're trying to make. That without us, what do you think you can do without us? We are the ones who are going to lead. And even if it means that we are leading by the fist, that's what we are going to do. So that's exactly the point that they are trying to make, which we should rebel against. That question of what next. So now let me give you the answers, my response to what next. And I will give you a very, very good example. When we brought Kibaki to power, I was very, very young. I was young and I remember everything. I remember the following day after we voted, I think it must have been probably the first time that I voted or something like that. I remember people coming from all over because somebody was trying to sell KICC. And this is very, very figurative what I'm saying. Moi was trying to sell a KICC and was not successful. So I remember when we chose Kibaki, the following day, everybody was singing around KICC. And there was another, is it Intercontinental Hotel or Hilton Hotel? One of those hotels, they belonged to the country. They had not been privatized yet. And I remember KICC is one of those facilities that Moi was just about to sell it, just like the way JKIA is about to be sold. Watu walikuwa naimba, mali yetu, mali yetu. I remember very, very, very well. And I think I will try to see if I can pull those footages. So what is to happen next is that us, the movement will be the leaders. And we will appoint these leaders once we straighten up Ruto and his people and all these demagogues, including Raila, when they leave. Because that's our priority. Ruto must go with the entire system and everybody else. We will have our leaders. I remember that was the first time Najib Balala was able to make his way into the parliament. Very, very, very many people were the first time, attendees, or they were the first time visitors of parliament, or what do I say? MPs, they were first time MPs, and they did not even know how the rule of the orders went, when you were supposed to lift your hand, when you were supposed, but they were mentored through, and there were so many of them that came in the first time, So let me tell you something. When they tell you what next is we become leaders. Again, when we elected Kibaki, we had so many members of parliament that showed up the first time as members of parliament, the first time as cabinet. They did not even know how the rules go. They did not even know how the house, the floor rules were going. And they got educated as they went. They educated themselves as they went. So first we remove Ruto. And the second thing, we will get our leaders. When that call comes, we will get our leaders. So let them leave us alone. We saw it in Kibaki. We saw very, very many new faces. We saw very many people who built their career after Kibaki. And that's what's going to happen to us and our movement. So that's
As you
the
wind
first
up,
point I want to do. Sorry?
as you wind up, your time is up.
No, I'm not winding up. I have to make my point. I've been here long enough. I don't think 4 minutes is over, but I will make my
We
second
have to be
point
fair to
and I will
everyone.
leave.
We have to be fair
Okay.
to everyone.
Then I'll yield. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, thank you. You'll come back on the next round. Let me go to the next speaker, Kibongong.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Mimi, I have ways we could improve this Maandamano, and I think we're headed in the right direction. We're all very upset with how systems are being run. Iyo hasira ifai kuisha. Let me even set my timer. I don't want to take more than 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm done. Where's this timer? So meanwhile, I was saying, yep, timer started. Yes, I was saying, mi nataka tukasirike. It's not about wewe ni Mkale, wewe ni Mkikuyu, wewe ni Mkosterian, wewe ni Msomali. It's not about that. We are Kenyans and Kenya is for us. There's no, I'm a Kale, for, if you must know, I'm a Kale. But hakuna kitu Ruto amenifanyia. He's done nothing. If anything, he has stolen from me. Nimepanda, nikauziwa wrong fertilizer. Tukaambiwa muende mrudishe, bring your receipts, you'll be refunded. Nothing happened. After tumengangana, tumelima, tumeweka fertilizer yetu that we bought with our own money. Tukipeleka mahindi cereals tumevuna, you can't, mahindi yako haichukuliwi. So I want people to be upset. It's not, na nimesikia, I've been here a while and I've heard people talking about, oh, Somali, oh, I get what that MP said was wrong. I get it, but we are not directing our anger to Somalis. We are not doing that. That would be taking us back. Now, the point of this Ruto must go is Kenya must move forward. There's unity in numbers. Let's agree that these people are in our country and they are Kenyans now. So maneno ya kwanza kuwa can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Niliona ni kama hii mic yangu haisongi, sorry. So all I'm saying is in fact, this is a time for these Somalis to come and prove how much of Kenyans they are. Tokeni, fungeni Isili, kujeni, let's all march. Indians, fungeni uko Parklands, wapi, kujeni, let's all march. Because if business works for us, we have the financial power to come and build your businesses. So me, my plea kabisa, my parting shot is tuungane wote. Hakuna tribalism. Let maandamano happen in every county. Kila mahali, hakuna kubaguana. You're a Kenyan, Sitaki hata kujua kama uko na ID ama hauna. The fact that uko maandamano na mimi, you're Kenyan enough. That is enough naturalization for you. So anyway, let's all stay safe. Ninge recommend, we said we are leaderless. I've got 1 minute and 7 seconds. We are leaderless. That doesn't mean we can't be accountable for each other. Tukienda kwa street, me, I'll be on the streets on Tuesday. Physically, I'll be there. If we're on the street, please try to know at least 10 people around you. Hata kama utamjua jina, hauna namba yake ya simu, just know that huyu ni part of us, tunaandamana. The 500 people will be able to stop that wenyewe and even report them to the police or even do a citizen's arrest. Anyway, I've got 25 seconds, and before I leave, akisida followers, si follow kidogo. Well, anyway, me, I'm a strong Ruto must go fan, so you won't go wrong with me. Please follow me and let's enjoy hakuna kuenjoy, tuna jam. Hasira. Tumejam. Thank you kwa kunipandisha. Thank you the 6th. Thank you Pineapple. Thank you Afrocentric. I'm done.
Thank you so much. Asante sana, tunashukuru. Let's go to Kemanga Samuel. Your 3 minutes begin now. Talk to us.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think my voice is your voice. We talk as one people. We were in a space some minutes ago or some 1 hour ago, hosted by the KOT, and the conclusion was that we ain't relent. We are brave enough people. We are very brave, and we did not go to school to fail such simple tasks. My opinion to Ruto is that on the cabinet he brought back is that we cannot agree with them. We cannot agree with it. Why should he care for Kindiki and Duale and other characters who he suggested back? I'm sorry, he suggested back to the cabinet. We are not agreeing with that. If he really care for the Kenyan, why don't he care for the poor Kenyans who cannot even offer? They are not able to put a single meal. They cannot afford a single meal a day, while they can eat as much as 5 times anywhere, everywhere. There is a Kenyan somewhere I know who lacks a proper house simply because they took their children, they sacrifices to take their children to school so that those children can come back and secure a proper job and look after that family. But they are not. Why should he give job to people who actually they are not necessarily in need of that job? They are being given a job. They are being brought back to work. Me, what I would like to say that is that we agree, all of us, and we should agree that we don't want the same people who are kicked out from the cabinet to be brought back. Guys, are we agreeing with that? First of all, you see, we should have a way of solving things here. Are we agreeing with that? First of all, and then, you know, Ruto thinks that we are foolish. I know one thing, that we might not be clever enough, but we are not fools, because he can twist us and come up with a strategy of signing a check rather than giving cash in a church, tasking Gachagua to inquire the problem or the money they need, and then submit to him to sign a check. What is that? Is there a difference between giving cash and signing a check? Is that not a harambee in church? Bana, tukatai hiyo maneno bana, tukatai hiyo. Mimi hiyo dakika yangu imebaki, naweza pea mtu mwingine, lakini lazima tukatai hiyo kabisa. Asante.
Asante sana, hata zilikuwa tu 10 seconds. Let me go to Kadeno. Kadeno, your 3 minutes begin now. Take the mic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, Afrocentric. Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Just go on.
So me, I'm very pissed. First of all, I came when I joined the space, I met someone who was called Abdul, saying that their counties have no development, they have no Jewish schools. And I want to ask those people, do you know how much money has been given into your counties in terms of counties, the funds that is given by national government to counties, the money that have been given by the CDF, the money you were given because those areas are extreme. You have been given a lot of money such that you would have turned Northeastern into Dubai if your leaders wanted. But what have your leaders been doing? They have been investing that money back to Eastleigh. I know they doesn't want to be told this because that is the truth. Hiyo pesa wamekuwa wakiitumia kuinvest other places. Can they go? You can't expect other people to build your counties. That's the truth. You must build your counties, you yourself. You know the thugs who killed other people there. You know everyone who doesn't support government there. You need to come together and say, this is our county. We must guard it. We must ask for accountability. They must develop their counties. They shouldn't expect people from Central to go develop their county. In fact, they shouldn't expect anyone. They should guard their money and force their leaders to conduct development. With 10 of billions that have been allocated there, the county should be having like 17 universities, big hospitals, big schools. But what is happening? Droughts every now and then. When the rain comes, they are here showing us and being happy that the rain have come. They have food for their sijui what, but not to advise their leaders to build dams, to build water harvest systems, to build infrastructures. They only cry, yet they are being given a lot of money in those counties. Personally, I've been pushing. Personally, I come from Moranga and I've been pushing to call our governor and so that he can come and talk to us. We exchange ideas, but it's very difficult. We are trying to hold those people in power accountable, but they are trying to show us they doesn't want to do that. Me, I'm very pissed. Look at our government.
Start landing.
Ruto, sorry?
Start landing. Your time is almost up.
So I will finish by saying this. People should go to the street and we should demonstrate. Those who want to occupy the JKIA, those who want to occupy the port should do that. Those who want to occupy State House, occupy everywhere you want. There is no way someone can borrow 1.2 trillion and nothing serious to show. We should go to the street from tomorrow, even from today, until when Ruto and his crony thugs, because they are thugs, are gone and out of our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.
Let me jump in there, guys. I've just shared on my timeline, which I want to direct everyone's attention to, because for the past 2 to 3 weeks we've been saying occupy everywhere. And right now, I think we've been discussing, we've been taking a lot of notes, and we have been working with some graphic designer who has helped come up with meeting points. So we were trying now to concentrate our forces, because if you say occupy everywhere, hata kutoka kwa nyumba na usimame hapo kwa barabara, you are occupying in the literal sense. But anyway, right now we want to switch strategies, we want to switch tactics. Ukiona hapo kwa tumepatiana, if your where you reside is closer to Thika Road, tunasema hapo tukutane hapo Juja bypass stage kwanza towards kama Kamakis hapo Githurai, tuchoka hapo Githurai, the turn at Kiambu Road, hapo turnaround ya TRM Mall can be another meeting point. Alafu pia around MT Mall towards Garden City Mall hapo Kasarani, that's a choking point. So guys, let us retweet this so other people can see it, because people don't know where to meet. One of the most things have been the confusion of our spaces is wase tunakutana sangapi na wapi, because ukiona kuna team inakujanga hata hiyo siku ya Occupy Parliament, kuna wase wa Thika Road walichelewa, wase wako town tayari iko 12 na wengine bado hawajaingia. So if we can synchronize, it's one of the demerits of being leaderless, but we're not directionless. Is knowing what time are we meeting and where are we meeting, because we can have the same meeting point but different times, or we can have different times but not the same meeting point. So this is just an attempt to try to have that harmony in terms of where we are meeting. If you're on Gong Road, if you're on Mombasa Road, if you're in Thika Road, if you're on Southern Bypass, if you're on Mombasa Road, even the idea of Occupy JKIA, just shutting down Thika Road, nothing comes in, nothing leaves. No one can go, no one can fly out of the country, and no one can come into the country. Like, you'll be stuck there. So, guys, great idea. We're implementing, we're taking notes of everything we said on this space. And this is how the movement keeps growing. And we are not relenting until Ruto must go. Back to you, Ayu.
Thank you so much, Afro, for the update. And please, just go on go on those tweets on the Jumbotron and make sure that you retweet all of them. And probably, if you have to quote tweet, ensure that you use the Ruto must go hashtag Ruto must go tag. So guys, acheni kuni DM niwapatie mic. Requesting to mic. I can see them. There are 61 mic requests. I'll accept all of them. So just chill.
What
Don't
do you
feel
mean? 90? I'm seeing 97 plus here on my side.
I can see 60 on my end. So you guys, you can see. So just chill, eh? Time yako ikifika itafika tu, utapikiwa na utaongea. Ukini DM, it doesn't make it any easier. And karibu sana Daktari Ekuru Okot for joining us. And probably I want to give the mic to Bluesman. Bluesman, your 3 clean minutes begin now. Take the mic, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, my points are clear. Number one, sisi kama watu wenye, everyone who is in this space, we should take an initiative of educating, because unapata there are so many Kenyans wenye hatuko on the same page because of misunderstandings. Maybe msee hajui kwa nini hii regime inafaa kwenda, maybe anasema alisikiza so tumpe time, mwingine anasema sijui siasa. Like, take your time, the best understanding yenye uko nayo, make sure umeshare na wase. At least try to highlight that the country is headed in the wrong direction. Ukiweza, kama ulisikia ile story nani alisema huyu Jimmy Wanjigi about debt, venye debt tunaenda tukisonga and it's not well used, you can explain that. You can also explain story ya recycling, how are the CSS. Again, you can explain story ya all those people who have been involved in corruption have not been.
Are you there? Bluesman, we lost you.
My.
You're back.
You lost
You're
me. Okay, I'm sorry, guy. Okay, nili lost kama how long ago?
Like a few seconds.
Okay. So I was saying, try to explain to your fellow citizens the reasons why we are headed in the wrong direction and why protests should not end any soon. Like, hiyo itasaidia sana at least country kuwaleta pamoja. And then the story of kusalimia wasee, hiyo kitu inafaa kuwa almost kila siku. Like, hiyo inafaa kuwa culture hadi 2027, so that those corrupt leaders wasiwahi pata kiti. So kusalimia wase kwa simu, kuwasalimia kwa ground, at least like hiyo si kitu ya siku moja, ni siku ya kila kitu, same as occupy churches. Again, something else ni historia leaderless. Historia leaderless, so many people wana doubt, wanasema mwezi enda place mkiwa leaderless. So kitu naweza sema, kama maybe uko kwa space fulani wanauliza ama somewhere, you can say as long as tuko leaderless ndo kusikwe na msee yote mwenye atawai call off demos ziendelee. But if you feel like you can represent Gen Z, wewe unaweza enda kwa preso maybe na memorandum ama kwa koti as a voter ama as a taxpayer, like uende we mwenyewe urepresent whatever you're saying, na sisi wenyewe tukiona wewe unafanya kazi poa, kama maybe unataka vote tunaweza kupea later, but usiende kusema tuache demos ati ndio muongee. same way to hata they said akina sijui Raila some I think ni this guy alisema Raila is not representing Gen Z akienda kuongea, so that means yeye afai kuambia Gen Z waache maandamano. So hiyo ndo ni story ya leaderless. And then what else kitu nasema ni tukiulizwa maybe agendas ni gani, agendas I think very clear, kitu kama kujail wale wase corrupt, hiyo ni kitu iko very clear, iko very clear yenye sidhani itakuwa na pia justice for wale wase walidedi, hiyo ni kitu yenye naona kaa tunasawa tuisemi sana. We should always insist on that, ati kila siku hiyo ni grievance yenye tuko sure si rahisi ati ikue annulled, juu kama juzi si wame suspend ile cabinet na ikakuwa like wametukul, but those two things kujail wale wase corrupt na kuleta justice for those fallen soldiers, hiyo ni kitu yenye iko very iko valid kama grievances. And then kitu very important ni kitu mimi na insistingi sana ni tukienda demos ama tukienda kuoccupy, please can we insist graphic designers, can we insist on kutokea mapema. Naonanga mimi that's the secret card yenye tumekosa in all the demos zenye tumetokea ama all the occupying activities zenye tumekuwa nazo. If we could occupy CBD by saa 1:30 ama saa 2, ati upate saa 2 kuna wase 200 wameketi pale CBD, watu wenye wataona hiyo by saa 3 utapata wengine dhao wameingia, by saa 10 dhao 10 wameingia, like na already ishakuwa revolution na tushamaliza hii kazi. So graphic designers make sure ume focus on that story ya kutokea mapema, like that's very important, cause venye tunaendelea ku waste time tukitokea late, hii kitu inakuwa tunapea hawa say chance ya kuinfiltrate yani kutu counter, but the day tutokea mapema I think hiyo inaweza kuwa game changer. And then kitu ingine maybe naweza ongezea ni graphic designers, hizi poster mnatoa, can you highlight mambo ya mambo ya those corrupt leaders na scandals zao, like at least hii itokee like watajwe, cause inaendelea kuboil temper zetu. Something else yenye sijataja ni okay, somebody kama anaweza nipea more info, siko sure, ni historia public prosecutor. Sijui kama public prosecutor anafanyanga kazi yake with the anaitwa nani sasa, auditor general akitoa kama maybe akitoa list fulani kumekuwa na corruption, chief public prosecutor anafanyanga kazi yake like ya kuprosecute wasi, like wasi wangapi wanashtakiwa. I think pia hapo tunafaa either kusalimia ama kuapply pressure ama kucomplain sana about that. Thank you so much.
Asante sana Bluesman. Thank you so much for highlighting hizo issues ume highlight, and yes, your story posters, graphics designers out there, make sure that you also include the plights of the people in those posters, na tuanze kushema wase publicly, because hatuwezi keep on kurelent na kuprotect jina zao. Watu waogopi, hakuna kitu watatufanyia. The least one, the best one is atufanyia ni kutu whatever inaitwaje, kututeka nyara. They can just kidnap us. So we have to start calling those names the way they are on their IDs. Kama tunawezeka phone number zao na ID number zao tuweke, tutaziweka hadi account number zao za bank, kwani ni kesho. If we die, we die. So I want to take this opportunity to bring in Kowino on the mic, and then probably later on we can now bring in Daktari. Kowino.
Thank you, Ayo. Good morning, everyone. I think I came here to say probably one thing, because earlier on, I think everyone is trying to make this war to become an ethnic war. Nilisikia watu wakifanya ikuwe ni kama we are fighting against each other, mpaka tunasahau kwenda kwa goli yetu yenye inafaa kuwa ni we are fighting against bad governance. tunataka kuanza kudrag mara Somalis, mara sijui kabila fulani, and we are not supposed to go that direction. Tunafaa kujua everyone is a Kenyan. Hakuna mtu anaitwa Somali mwenye ni Mkenya. Huyo mtu mwenye unaitwa Somali mwenye probably ako Kenya ni Mkenya. So hatufai kuenda hiyo direction because tutaanza kuanza kujidivide sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe in house instead of fighting bad governance. Just like I said last night that this is not anti-government protest or anything. It is anti-bad governance. Because hatupige tu serikali, tunapiga bad governance ndio sisi hatutaki. Na from what has been going on, tukiangalia appointments za jana, inamaanisha I was looking at those appointments na kitu inaniambia hizo positions zenye zimebaki hata maybe ndio zinaenda kuwa worse than hizi zenye tumeona. Ndio mnaenda sasa kuletewa positions za Raila sasa. Na ndio hata mnaenda kukasirika zaidi. I hope ifanywe hata Monday ndio sasa Tuesday tukuwe na more rage ya kwenda huko kwa streets. Na if you want to give up, bado naweza sema hivi, if you want to give up or if you don't have a reason for going to the streets next week, please don't go, just stay at home. Na pia usikuje kwa microphone kuambia watu ati please don't give up, we go to the streets, na utakuwa umekaa nyumbani. So if you are not willing, if you feel this is not your type of war, please stay out of it. Wenye tulishasema wengine tutawapigania, wenye sisi tutakuwa wenye tuna feel this is our type of war. We are going to fight this war till the end, mpaka siku tutashinda. I know lives will be lost in the way, but it is not the time to give up, because if we give up, like I always say again, spend like over 60 years kama tuna struggle, kama tuko maybe worse than we've been. Tutaendelea tu na hizi bad governance and everything else. So again, pia tukifight war in the streets, I think tunafaa pia kukuwa na avenues zenye tunaangalia constitutionally, what can be done constitutionally, like in the constitution, what amendments can be done. And I thank God Dr. Kurekot is here again, because last time I asked him to come and talk to us about Article 255, 256 and 257 of the Constitution. And why is it mbona the parliament imejitana na hii constitution that unaweza pata maybe kufanya amendments and all that inakuwa so hard of some articles probably. And if we want all the changes that we want, does it mean we will have to go for a referendum? Ama zinaweza fanywa, tunaweza ekea wabunge wetu pressure and they make the amendments huko kwa bunge, through bunge, without us going for a referendum. So going forward, I would also like to hear about that from Dr. Ekuro, if there is a way itakuwa easy for us to do easy amendments without going for a referendum, na maybe zifanyike venye tunataka. If we can also have program changes like mtu akishavai kama governor hakuna tena kwenda kurudi kuvai senator, vitu kama hizo, because I think that is greedy pia. Yeah, thank you Ayo.
Thank you so much Kowino. Nilikuwa nataka daktari ya take through hizo manini, but ni kama amedrop, so tutamgoja rudi tena. If you can send him the mic again. But meanwhile tukimgoja, let's try and hear from Dennis Mutwiwa. I give you 3 minutes to give us your submission there as we wait for daktari akuje. Asipokam tutaendelea kwa na maspikers wengine, but meanwhile try and share the space, use the hashtag Ruto must go. You can follow the speakers, follow the host and the co-host as we keep on. Daktari is here. Dr. Ikuru, good morning. How are you?
And we have been asking.
Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Afrocentric.
Go ahead.
And good morning, everyone. So I don't know, for some reason my mic dropped, so I didn't get the question from Kowino. Kindly, can you repeat it for me? But I wanted to make just a very quick, maybe 1 minute submission before maybe I answer some specific questions on matters constitution, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure, that's okay.
Yes, please, go ahead.
So, I've been listening to a lot of spaces and including yours here. And So I'm just reminded of one poet, one literary artist, and I wanted to share this passage with all of you guys because what you are speaking about is actually what this man spoke about sometimes back in the early 90s. Is one of my favorite people I like to read about. It's called Bertolt Brecht, and he speaks about the political illiterates. And when I listen to these spaces, the Gen Z revolution and all that, people are wisening up because this man, Bertolt, wrote this passage long time ago. And I don't know whether he had Kenyans in mind or he had this awakening that is coming up with the Gen Zs. And this is what he said. And just allow me to quote him verbatim. And you can Google him. It's on Google. He said that the worst illiterate is the political illiterate. People who say that we don't want to be in politics because politics is dirty. He doesn't hear, doesn't speak, nor participate in political events. He doesn't know the cost of life, the price of the bean, of the fish, of the flour, unga, of the rent, of the shoes, and of the medicine. All depends on political decisions. The people we are now questioned to be in power. The political illiterate is so stupid that he is proud and swells his chest, saying that he hates politics. The imbecile doesn't know that from his political ignorance is born the prostitute, the abandoned child, and the worst thieves of all, the bad politician. And emphasize that, the bad politician, corrupted and flunky of the national and multinational companies. So, guys, I think this, for me, speaks to the spirit of what is happening today in our country. And I just wanted to say that I'm very, very happy, very proud of what you guys are doing, the Gen Zs are doing, because, and I hope really you can maintain this momentum. And yes, the question of whether you are leaderless is now emerging. So what next? I heard Raila try to defend the government by saying that it's not about Ruto must go. It's protectionism. I think it's trying to protect William Ruto. But then we need to ask ourselves also the question, we need to prepare ourselves. And one of the things that I have insisted over time, especially since I formed Third Way Alliance Kenya as a political party, is that because of our non-participation in politics, that's why we end up with the kind of people that we have today. The people who can easily just gang up together. Today they are enemies, tomorrow they are friends. And honestly speaking, I want to throw this question to the floor. Why should our country, Kenya, be defined for decades in the context of just a few individuals? Why? Why should it be the name of, I don't know, Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka? Why cannot it be about Koyo, Kowino? Why cannot it not be about Ayo? Why cannot it not be about Brave Girl, Otumba? Yeah, even if it's not about Ekuru Aukot, but there are many names here. So the question is, our non-participation is what is giving us the caliber of leadership that we have today. And as the old saying goes, the leadership of any country is a reflection of the society. Is that really our society? We need to resist that. We need to begin to say, no, this cannot be our society because the decisions they are making are bad. For example, let's just delve into the newly appointed cabinet. So you fire somebody because you have lost confidence and faith in their performance, then you bring them back. I mean, some of those guys, I know them. I mean, I worked with them before. But I'm wondering, so when you fire these guys because you lack confidence in them, why should you bring them back? To be honest with you, if we were to interpret Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya, if you have lost confidence in somebody holding public office, then that person cannot again bring repute or respect to that office they are holding. So what President William Ruto has done actually is just to say, you know what, I can do this. He has like a carte blanche on how he runs his affairs. He does it as he wishes. So I think we need to say, we, the Gen Z, a new generation, we need to get involved. So for some of us who are already on our 5th floor, honestly, I'm pleased that you guys are taking charge, are getting interested in politics, and I like the fact that we are advancing the idea of us being tribeless, which is very good. I mean, for some of us, like someone like me who is intermarried, I don't want my children to be seen as, I don't know, Kikuyu or Turkana. I mean, I want them to be seen as Kenyans. But over and above that, guys, and I'll say this just maybe before I answer some specific questions on matters constitution, we have a beautiful country, and honestly, we must jealously guard it. Over to you, Afrocentric.
Kowino?
Yes, thank you, Ayo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Kowino.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Daktari, last time we were here, I think very late in the night, I had asked you maybe if you could come and talk to us about Article 255, 256, and 257 of the Constitution, which I believe is the amendment of the Constitution. Because I think those articles, especially 256 and 257, really protects the county assemblies and the parliament, that is the National Assembly and the Senate, that they are probably the ones who will decide if we are making these amendments or not. There being that the legislature, as we see in this country right now, is really captured by the executive. It means that if we want these amendments to take place, they are probably never going to take place with the type of parliament we have right now. And if you even want to reduce probably the governor's terms and all that, the county assemblies will also vote. And these people have their own interest and they want to serve their own interest. Is it really possible that this thing can take place in this country right now? Can we go that direction of amending the constitution and probably cutting these terms, reducing some seats and so on?
Yeah, so I don't know whether everybody can actually access a copy of the Constitution, but I have my copy here with. I don't know whether it's okay for me to just read for you guys verbatim Article 255 before I explain 256 and 257. Is that
Yeah, it's
okay?
okay. It's okay. Take your
Okay.
time. We have a
Yeah,
constitution on our phones, so it's okay.
exactly. So if, for example, if you look at Article 255, I mean, first of all, let me just have a disclaimer. I say that, there is really no perfect constitution anywhere in the world. And sometimes when people say, oh, you framers of the Constitution, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Constitution making process is basically a negotiated agreement. And especially before it becomes the ground norm, the highest law in the land, it is actually very political. People bring in proposals, what they want to be in the Constitution, and then, of course, there's a negotiation. So for us, as the committee of experts, when we sat down to write our country's Constitution today, we considered all the various views. I mean, you may recall that there was the Bomas process that went into referendum in 2005, and that referendum failed. Then when we, as the committee of experts, where I was basically in charge, came on board, we say that we are not going to throw away anything that was proposed by the CKRC, the Constitution of Kenya Review Commission of 2000 to 2004, leading up to the referendum of 2005. We also looked at the Bomas process. We looked at I think there was Kilifi and all that. And we went back to the people and told the people, okay, what exactly do you want, honestly, in this constitution? And if you may recall, the Bomas process had proposed about 4 levels of government: the national government, a regional government, a district government, and a locational government. So when we went back to the people as the committee of experts, we asked people, honestly, can we manage, can we finance these 4 levels of government? And today, the debate is very ripe that do we actually need the 47 counties of Kenya as they are today? if you ask me, if I was to rewrite Kenya's constitution today, I would say no. I need more of the wards. There are 1450 wards, so that they can act as a unit of delivering services to people's very doorsteps. Now, having say compromise on some of the provisions in the constitution, that's how the committee of experts came up with Article 255, where we're speaking about amendment of this constitution. So if you are proposing an amendment to this constitution, it shall be enacted in accordance with Article 256, which is parliamentary initiative, 257, what is the popular initiative, and approved in accordance with clause 2 by the referendum. If the amendment relates to any of the following matters, for example, the supremacy of this constitution cannot be amended by parliament. It can only go to the people of Kenya. The territory of Kenya, if you are going to try and tamper with the boundaries, the territory, the region now we call Kenya, it must go to the people of Kenya. The sovereignty of the people, Article 1, which talks about all sovereign power and authority vests in the people to exercise it directly or indirectly. And speaking to what is happening in Kenya today, Kenyans are actually invoking that article to say our elected representatives are actually failing us, so we want to exercise this power ourselves directly. The national values and principles of governance, which are referred in Article 10, accountability, transparency, equality, human rights, all those things. Those ones cannot be amended by parliament. It must go to the people of Kenya. The Bill of Rights, term of the president. I mean, we proposed, for example, when in Punguza Mizigo, we proposed that we must reduce the term of the president to only 7 years, one term. You serve your 7 years and you go. That's why we invoked Article 257, what's called the popular initiative. Now, in the popular initiative, you must go to the people, get at least 1 million, endorsements from Kenyans. And then you take that bill, you draft the bill like we did in Punguza Mizigo, and I will invite you guys, just have a look at it. I think it's online. Then once you draft the bill, you take to IEBC with the supporting signatures. Then with those signatures, once IEBC approves that, yes, there's an endorsement of a minimum of 1 million, it goes to the county assemblies for debate. Once the county assemblies, at least a minimum of 24 of them, the majority, pass the bill, then it goes to the people in a referendum. Now, what we did in Punguza Mizigo, we crafted it in such a way that we did not want Parliament to even have a say or amend it, because we factored on those issues that actually anger Kenyans. For example, the size of parliament. Honestly, why do we need 416 parliamentarians? At the time we were doing the constitution, it was a negotiation, remember? And for some of us who probably have followed the process of constitution making in Kenya, if you can start from, say, the Independence Constitution, the Lancaster House Conference, which culminated into the Independence Constitution, Kenyans did not participate in that constitution-making process. There was a few representatives. They didn't go to the people. And that's why, for example, Article 10 talks about public participation. It's meaningful public participation. Then you go back to as early as 1990s, the agitation for repeal of Section 2A of the Constitution, which ushered in multi-party democracy. And then thereafter. So we said, for certain fundamental issues that affect our lives, the size of parliament, salaries, the size of the commissions, elections.
How you guys?
Let's go to the people of Kenya, because they are it's the people of Kenya who actually feel that. That's why we came up with Article 255, which talks about what are the other areas that can only be done in a referendum, and then 256 that gives Parliament certain, and it's minimal. So Article 256 is basically limits what amendments can Parliament do on their own? But on issues fundamental to the country, that's why we came up with an elaborate Article 2 limits. What amendments can Parliament do on their own? But on issues fundamental to the country, that's why we came up with an elaborate Article 2 limits. What amendments can Parliament do on their own? But on issues fundamental to the country, that's why we came up with an elaborate Article 2 limits. What issues fundamental to the country. A vote of no confidence in Parliament. We can recall our members of Parliament because they are failing us, and that's why the popular initiative in Article 257 is there. Over to you, guys.
Okay. Thank you, Daktari, for talking about the Article 257. But now my issue comes here. In that Article 257, after the people have collected the signatures and submitted to IBC, and IBC have verified the signatures and all that.
Nimefuliza.
The bill is sent to the county governments where where the county assemblies will vote for it. If they approve it, which we don't know if they can approve it, probably. If they approve it, it's again sent to the speakers of the two houses of the National Assembly and the Senate. And it is voted upon by the MPs probably. When they are done and it is approved, that is when the bill is sent to the president to assent his signature. And now my questions come in that with the kind of system we have right now, do we have faith that even if the popular initiative has done the necessary, is our parliament capable of approving the bill? Ayo, is Dr. talking?
Daktari, did you hear the question from Kowino? Daktari?
We lost him.
Probably. I think we lost him. Probably he's in a call or something. I don't know. Is he on a call? Daktari? Okay. I think yeah. Tumemlose. Kowino, hold on to that question. Hold on to that question. Afro, do you want to refresh the space? Afro?
I think he's away from the mic.
I think he's also away from the mic. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it's 9 minutes past top of the hour, 9 a.m. East African time. And the hashtag today is Ruto must go. Your neighbor is not your enemy. The enemy is the government, and you're working hard to send the government home. By all manners of fairness and logistics, whatever we'll do to have him go home, yeah, we have to do it. So we have a few speakers on the mic as we wait for Daktari to reconnect, and Kowino is also reconnecting. Just take a minute and share the space on your timeline and use the hashtag Ruto must go. And even as you type the hashtag Ruto must go, make sure that, kindly ensure that you type something so that it doesn't come out as a spam tweet. Meanwhile, I have new speakers on the mic. I can see 6,000. Good morning, 6. KOT, you haven't spoken since you came in. And I have James Muli, I guess, James Mulamba, sorry. Otumba Masharia, Omu, Better Living Standards, and Dennis Mutwiwa. I can see Daktari is back and Kowino is also back. Daktari, Kowino had a question for you. So I think Kowino will have to repeat the question one more time so that you get to probably give us a response. So Kowino, the mic is yours. Daktari is back. I hope you can hear me, Kowino, loud and clear. So you can probably ask the question again. Daktari is here.
Yes, thank you, Ayo. Daktari was saying that I'm happy about the Article 257 where the people, we initiate the popular initiative, we amend the constitution by popular initiative where probably we collect signatures. After the 1 million signatures are collected and it's submitted to IBC, they verify the signatures, and when it's done, they submit the bill to each county assembly for consideration. That is within 3 months after the date it was submitted by the commission. Yeah, and if all the county assemblies approve the draft bill within the 3 months, then the speakers of the county assembly, I believe, they submit it to the speakers of the National Assembly and the Senate. That is. And now it is voted upon again by the same MPs and senators that I believe we, the people, have lost faith in. Currently, we are pushing for the hashtag Ruto must go. And if we want him to go, the same people that he has in his pockets, that is the MPs and the senators, he commands probably the majority. We don't know if he does, but he does because he has captured them. He commands the majority in both houses. And if he has to go home and through a popular initiative, it means that these MPs that he has in his pockets have to vote for that bill, for the 1 million signatures, for the bill that has been submitted to the House that people want him gone. So my question is, I don't think if there's any other way than Parliament voting for it. So my question is it possible for us to trust these people to send him home, or we just have to go the streets way, because the Parliament way could be much harder than we think?
Okay, thanks, Kowino, for that. So for example, if you look at Article 255, Sub-Article 1, Part F, the term of office of the president. That is the part where now we are saying we have lost faith in the presidency of the country and we want him to go home. So we can do the two approaches. One, we must remain on the streets. We must resist. He must, because I don't believe Ruto has the integrity to be able to say, okay, people have disapproved of me, now let me resign. Ideally, a good leader should be able to say, okay, people have lost faith in me, let me go home. You know, like in other developed democracies. But we know our kind of democracy and governance in Kenya is commercialized. It attracts the deplorables. Now, in Article 255, 257, which I think for me is where the way to go, we can now invoke Article 257 to amend Article 1, where we are saying all sovereign power vests in the people to exercise directly or indirectly. So we can create an amendment to that article in such a way that we the people, when we collect requisite signatures and is approved by the majority of counties, then the entire government goes. Because today I don't see Gachagua as an alternative to Ruto. I think the only person now, so Ruto is not an alternative, an option, neither is Gachagua. So the only way to go about this is to go the popular initiative. We collect as much signatures as we can. We amend Article 1 so that we can have the people have the power to be able to fire a government. Because at the end of the day, guys, we are actually the employers of a government. We are the employers of the president. By